Greetings, dear HMC friends, and I do hope you've been wrapping up warmly with this chilly weather. Love getting my blankie out and wrapping myself up in it when I'm watching some TV with weather like this. I pray today that you know that God's presence is with you. May the Lord be with you today. A couple of weeks ago, we were looking at Solomon. And as he began his reign as king, of how God came to him and said, "What do you want?" And Solomon prayed for wisdom. And of course, we have always known someone as wise as Solomon. His legacy still lives with us today. And wise decisions and wisdom is something that we all wish to have. At those moments when we're not quite sure what to do, that we would use discernment and wisdom. My dear father was a very kind man, very gentle. And I remember, though, as a child and a teenager, he could really irritate me. When I asked him for something or for a decision, his words were usually, "Let me sleep on it." Oh boy, that used to frustrate me when I was young. I'd like a decision now. Let's make a decision and go for it. Let's get ahead. I suppose one could say quite impulsive. And I should have read Proverbs, because the Proverbs have some very good words for us. Wicked people buff their way, but God's people think before they take a step. That's in Proverbs 21 and verse 29. And if I wasn't convinced enough, I should go to Proverbs 4 and 26. Power the path of your feet, then all ways will be sure. Taking time and moments. There's no doubt that there are some decisions that have to be taken immediately. And we don't always have the luxury of time. But when we do, time should be our friend. To think carefully, to maybe ask advice, but to take time in that decision. I know too that many of us look back at some of the decisions that we have made in the past and we regret them. There's no doubt that all of us have some decisions that we regret. But when we made those decisions, we made them in the best conscience of that time. And again, we find the wisdom of Isaiah, and in chapter 43 and verses 18 and 19. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland, says Isaiah. That there is wisdom in learning from the past, but there is always wisdom of being able to say what is past remains in the past. I always find that beautiful saying, don't cry over spilt milk. It's spilt, get on with it. Mop it up and work out how you're not going to spill it next time. Wisdom is difficult. And there's times when we are perplexed. We wonder, what decision should we take? And when you read the book of James and in chapter 1, And when you go to verse 5, I love this. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God. God who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. And almost in that verse, I find these 3 points. That we take time, we learn from the past, but we move on, and we ask God, and we do it hand in hand. And so maybe, like me today, we say, Lord, give us wisdom. Take care, and God bless.